What if I told you that a single decision you make today could determine whether you retire wealthy or struggle financially for the rest of your life? What if I told you that this decision doesn't require a college degree, a high-paying job, or even a trust fund from your parents? The truth is, there's a simple strategy that most people completely overlook, and it involves nothing more than setting aside the equivalent of what you might spend on a few coffee runs each week. And I help people understand how small financial decisions can create massive long-term results. If you're interested in building real wealth without complicated investment strategies or get-rich-quick schemes, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if this information helps you. Here's something that might shock you. According to recent financial surveys, the majority of Americans cannot access even $1,000 in an emergency. Think about that for a moment. More than half of the people in this country are living so close to the edge that a minor car repair or medical bill could completely derail their finances. This isn't just about poor people or minimum wage workers. This includes people with decent jobs, college degrees, and what appears to be middle-class lifestyles. The reality is that most people are trapped in a cycle where they earn money, spend money, and repeat the process without ever building any meaningful wealth. They might have nice cars, trendy clothes, and the latest gadgets, but underneath all of that consumption lies a frightening truth. They're broke, and they don't even realize it. But what if there was a way to escape this trap? What if there was a proven method that could transform your financial future, starting with an amount so small that you probably wouldn't even miss it? Today, I'm going to show you exactly how $100 per month could completely change the trajectory of your life. Before we dive into the specifics, let me ask you something. When you think about building wealth, what comes to mind? Maybe you picture Wall Street traders making million-dollar deals, or tech entrepreneurs selling their companies for billions of dollars. Perhaps you imagine real estate moguls buying and selling properties, or lottery winners hitting the jackpot. These dramatic examples dominate the headlines, but they represent the exception, not the rule. The real secret to building wealth isn't glamorous. It doesn't make for exciting news stories or viral social media posts. It's actually quite boring, which is probably why most people ignore it completely. The secret is consistency, time, and the incredible power of compound growth working in your favor. Here's where things get interesting. If you can manage to save just $100 every single month, you'll immediately be ahead of more than 60% of your peers. That's right. This simple act alone will put you in a better financial position than the majority of people around you. It's not because $100 is a massive amount of money. It's because most people never develop the discipline to consistently save anything at all. Think about what $100 represents in your monthly budget. For many people, that's equivalent to eating out a few times, buying a couple of new clothing items, or subscribing to several streaming services they rarely use. It might be what you spend on impulse purchases during a single trip to the store, or what disappears from your account through various small transactions that you don't even remember making. The question isn't whether you have $100. The question is whether you're willing to redirect that money from consumption to wealth building. This requires a fundamental shift in how you think about money and what it can do for you over time. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. $100 doesn't seem like enough to make a real difference. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, finding an extra $100 might feel impossible. If you're already doing well financially, $100 might seem insignificant compared to your other expenses. Both of these perspectives miss the bigger picture entirely. Let me share a story that illustrates this perfectly. There was once a teacher who told his students that if they could save just $100 every month, they would become millionaires by the time they retired. At first, the students thought this was impossible. How could such a small amount lead to such a large result? The teacher wasn't talking about magic or luck. He was talking about mathematics and the extraordinary power of compound interest. The beauty of this approach isn't just about the money itself. It's about developing the habits and mindset that wealthy people possess. When you commit to saving $100 every month, you're forced to become more intentional about your spending. You start paying attention to where your money goes. You begin distinguishing between wants and needs. You develop the discipline that separates those who build wealth from those who struggle financially. But how exactly do you find that extra $100 each month? There are essentially two approaches you can take, and the most successful people often use both simultaneously. You can either reduce your expenses or increase your income. Let's explore both options. On the expense side, start by examining your fixed costs. These are the recurring payments that happen automatically each month without you thinking about them. Your insurance premiums, cell phone bill, internet service, and various subscriptions all fall into this category. Many people are paying far more than necessary for these services simply because they've never taken the time to shop around or negotiate better rates. Insurance companies, phone carriers, and other service providers count on customer inertia. They know that most people will continue paying the same rates year after year without questioning whether they're getting the best deal. A few hours spent researching alternatives and making phone calls could easily save you $50 to $100 per month or more. Then there are the subscription services that have become epidemic in our society. Streaming platforms, software subscriptions, gym memberships, magazine subscriptions, and countless other recurring charges can add up to hundreds of dollars per month. Many people are paying for services they rarely use or have completely forgotten about. Conducting a thorough audit of these expenses could free up significant money immediately. Your spending habits offer another opportunity for savings. Small changes in how often you eat out, where you shop for groceries, and what you buy can accumulate into substantial monthly savings. The key is being strategic rather than making drastic cuts that you won't be able to sustain long term. On the income side, the modern economy offers more opportunities than ever to earn additional money. Whether it's freelancing skills you already possess, starting a small side business, or taking on part-time work, increasing your income by $100 per month is often more achievable than people realize. The specific method you choose matters less than your commitment to making it happen. Some people find it easier to cut expenses, while others prefer to focus on earning more. The most important thing is taking action rather than getting paralyzed by trying to find the perfect approach. Once you've identified how to save that $100 each month, the next step is understanding what happens when you put that money to work through investing. This is where the real magic begins, and it's something we'll explore in detail as we continue. The moment you start investing that $100 each month, you enter an entirely different financial universe. This is where your money stops being just money and transforms into something far more powerful. It becomes a wealth-generating machine that works around the clock, earning returns even while you sleep. Let's break down exactly what happens when you put that $100 to work in the stock market. Over a 10-year period, assuming reasonable market returns, your monthly contributions of $100 don't just add up to $12,000. They grow to approximately $18,000. That extra $6,000 represents your money-earning money, which might not sound revolutionary at first glance. But here's where most people make a critical mistake in their thinking. They look at that $6,000 gain and think it's nice, but not life-changing. They're focused on the short-term results rather than understanding the exponential power that's building beneath the surface. What they're witnessing is just the beginning of a wealth creation process that becomes increasingly powerful with time. The real transformation happens when you extend that timeline. Instead of thinking about 10 years, imagine what occurs over a 40-year career. That same $100 per month consistently invested grows into something that will shock you. Your total contributions over 4 decades amount to $48,000. But your investment portfolio doesn't stop at $48,000. It explodes to over $350,000. Think about what this means. You personally contributed less than $50,000, but your account contains more than $350,000. Where did that extra $300,000 come from? It came from compound interest, which Albert Einstein allegedly called the eighth wonder of the world. More than 85% of your wealth came not from your labor, but from your money working for you. This is the fundamental difference between people who build wealth and people who struggle financially forever. Wealthy people understand that there are limits to how much they can earn through their physical efforts, but there are virtually no limits to how much their money can earn for them when given enough time to compound. Consider the mathematics behind this transformation. In the early years, your returns might seem insignificant. A 10% return on $5,000 is only $500. You might think that $500 isn't worth the effort or risk of investing. After all, you could probably earn that much by working a few extra hours at your job. But this perspective completely misses the point. As your investment balance grows, those percentage returns translate into increasingly larger dollar amounts. When your portfolio reaches $50,000, that same 10% return generates $5,000 in a single year. When it hits $100,000, you're earning $10,000 annually from your investments. At $300,000, your money is generating $30,000 per year. Suddenly, your investments aren't just supplementing your income. They're creating substantial wealth that could potentially replace your salary entirely. This is when people start to understand why investing early and consistently is so crucial. The difference between starting at age 25 versus 35 isn't just 10 years of contributions. It's the loss of 10 years of compound growth on every dollar you would have invested. The numbers we've discussed assume an 8% annual return, which is actually conservative compared to historical stock market performance. The S&P 500 has averaged over 10% annually for decades. Using that higher return rate, your $100 per month could grow to well over $500,000, with an even higher percentage coming from compound growth rather than your contributions. But here's something most financial content creators won't tell you. The hardest part isn't understanding the mathematics. The hardest part is developing the discipline to stick with the plan when everything around you is encouraging immediate gratification. We live in a culture that promotes spending over saving, consumption over investment, and instant pleasure over long-term wealth building. Every month, you'll face decisions about that $100. Should you invest it as planned, or should you use it for something more immediate and tangible? Maybe there's a sale on something